Another question. Now, and this is one that I have gotten several different questions on. And is what are some suggested safe questions that we can ask employees around the racial tension going on so that we can talk together? Is there any suggested ways about going about that?
Thank you very much for that question, whoever generated, and the other ones too. But this is a key one, and this is actually our work. What we are doing, what we've been doing, we actually have a session that we run every month called Better Together, and that's where we deposit the best practices from companies around these topics. We'll be having one. I think July 24th will be the next one.
Mhm.
But just to pass on some things now, you have to bring people together in a way and virtually now that they can have a conversation that feels safe to them, where they can kind of say the wrong thing and not be vilified for it. So we have to understand that this is an awkward subject for everyone. The best practice is that number one, if there are people who don't want to say anything, they should be able to say nothing. There's nothing wrong with silence. You don't have to say, "Hey, Bob, you didn't say anything, so that means you're a racist." That's insane. It's absolutely insane. But there are people doing that. So people should be able to be silent. Another thing is people should be able to say something without having someone say, "I don't agree." Don't do that. You need to let people say what's on their minds. And when somebody says something, don't say, "Oh, I agree," because that kind of sets up a weird power dynamic. Just let people speak for themselves. No one needs to speak for a group of people because no one can. People need to speak for themselves. And what people need to do is really be listening with an open mind. So what we encourage people to do is to create a safe environment and to ask people a few questions. Question number one, what are you confused about?
Mm.
Question number two, what are you frustrated about? Question number three, what are you angry about? Question number four, what do you wish you knew more about?
Mm.
And what do you do to rebuild a sense of hope in yourself with the world being what it is? That's five questions.
That's
And
powerful.
just drop those, let people go to the next one. And you don't end by saying, "Okay, great, we're going to do an action plan now." That's not what it is. This is listening to find out what's going on. So do that in a way. Then you can go in the next time, same kinds of ground rules and the same kind of mood, but you can then say, "Hey, what do you hope our organization does about this?" Now you can start writing things down because you can start to build the plan of action, with your employees on what they can do in the company and what they can do in society at large. And then after doing the listening sessions, which people should do kind of every couple of weeks right now, then the organization needs to communicate, "Here's our action plan.
Wow.
Here's what we're going to do. Here's kind of the nonprofits in the area that we're going to support. We're going to let everybody buy the following two books to learn about racism, and because no one's an expert. And these are the kind of things we're going to do in the company just to make sure we're diverse and inclusive, we're fair in our promotions, and so on, and report back to people. And leaders shouldn't say, "We get it, we're going to change, and we're going to change by 2021," because it's not possible. It's just not possible. So we've been dealing with racism in this country for 401 years. Don't try and change it in 12 months. You can't. But what you can say is we're going to develop a plan of action. And by the way, our company's going to look different in 2023. It's going to take us some time. We're always going to make sure that the best and remarkable people are promoted, but we're going to do a little bit better job of including more people, all people, in that. So I've got a blog. You can link to me on LinkedIn, and you'll see what we're putting up. We dump all of our research there as well as on our website. We've probably got 30 blogs on this topic to help you do the listening session. We've got one on how to talk to your Black employees. We've got one on how not to talk to your Black employees, and so on. So we're blogging about it, and I think there'll be a lot of helpful things for all of you who are curious, which is the key here.
Absolutely. So, for those who can't see it on the screen, Michael Bush is CEO of Great Place to Work, and I know I've got some team members who are going to look up that address and put it in the chat box for me. If you could see the chat right now, it is just the positivity and the thank you, and it was so needed. It was just fabulous.